Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Obsessive Prepper AZ. I am releasing part 3 of my $10 a week food prep challenge. Now, I released this series, it's a 10-part series, last summer, which would have been 2019. Now we're December 2020. I wanted to release this series because I didn't think it got the views that it should have. For whatever reason, the algorithms of YouTube didn't put it at the top. So I'm releasing these videos, this series, part 3, because I think it is vital right now to teach people how to prep. Now, if you already are a prepper, it may be just a refresher course for you, but for beginner preppers that want an easy way to how to build their preps up, and in these videos, I don't just show you what to purchase, but I show you how one thing can help build to the other item in the weeks to come. So watch the whole 10-part series. I want to just do this real quick so you get on into it, and I hope you enjoy. Today we are on the third week of our $10 a week challenge of prepping for food storage. Now I've got my 2 weeks here, and if you want to see what I did with my 2 weeks, check out week 1 and 2 on those videos, and I tell you where I'm going with this food. But then I've got my third week here. I've got some oatmeal here, some flour, some sugar, I've got some baking soda, and a box of spaghetti. We have a 10-pound bag of all-purpose flour, and we're also going to pick up a 10-pound bag of all-purpose flour. Your gold medal all-purpose is $4.32, and our Walmart brand is $2.24, so I'm going to go ahead and get the Walmart brand for $2.24. We have a 10-pound bag of sugar. We've got some whole grain oats, oatmeal. Okay, the next thing that we're going to look at is oatmeal. Now the Quaker oats is $2.44 for a container, or we can also get for $1.64 Walmart brand. So I'm going to go ahead and get Walmart brand oatmeal for $1.64. And then Crisco is $2.88, but I'm still going to go with the Walmart brand vegetable oil. Something to think about, you can always make a candle out of vegetable oil with water and just the vegetable oil with our wicks. So we're going to go ahead and get for $1.87 a container of vegetable oil. And baking soda. Now, just these ingredients by themselves isn't a whole lot, but because we've been building on this 3-week challenge, the $10 a week challenge, going on to the 4th week, what can we do with all these ingredients? I have my rices, my potato flakes, and all this. Check out those videos. We have some shelf-sustainable food here. And we're still going with this, even though flour does not store as long. In our preps, I don't care if you do all-purpose flour and you rotate the heck out of it, or if you want to purchase hard white wheat or even hard red wheat. This is all up to you. The hard wheats store up to 20 years and even longer. You know, guidelines say 20 years, but we know we can push that longer. But you also need to think, if you're going to store hard wheat, white or red, you need to have a mill or a grinder to be able to grind that down to make your flour. So if you're going to store that, just make sure that you have some kind of grinder. You know, food mill, you know, I'm going to leave that up to everybody. You know, you can get a crank like I have, or you can get an electric one. It's across the board of what you want to do. I store regular white flour. Hard wheats that I purchased are 5-gallon buckets. And that, I've just pushed that off. I don't use that on an everyday basis. Maybe I should, but I don't. I always go back to my all-purpose flour, normally my bread flours. I'm also going to have a video on how to dry can flour and our oatmeal, and other ingredients that I will have for my 4-week challenge. So keep an eye out for how to dry can versus using our food saver. Our baking soda not only can be used for baking ingredients, but we can use baking soda for so many different things. People don't realize in an SHTF situation that you can use, not even an SHTF situation. If you have heartburn, take a teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate in some water and drink it. That'll settle that heartburn and the gases that you have. You can use baking soda for a toothpaste. You can use it for household cleaners. If you have canker sores or any mouth issues, gargle with it. So there's so many different reasons other than baking that you would want to store your baking soda. Baking soda technically does not go bad. Over a long period it may. In baking you might see some issues with your breads not rising or your cookies not doing what they should. But the way you check out baking soda to see if it's still active is take a little bit, put some vinegar mixed in it or lemon juice, something acidic, and it should bubble. If it's bubbling, then it's still good to go. But even so, if it wasn't active, you could still use it for cleaners, a paste for sunburns. There's just so many different things you can use baking soda for. Also, which I have not known, and just because of the events in my life, that you can use baking soda. And there's people that say yes, it works and doesn't work, but because of the places I've been down to Mexico and the things that I've learned, that you can get pH strips, find out what your pH levels are, and if your pH levels are really low, you can bring your pH levels up. And what I'm talking about is people that have cancer, and normally your body does not do well if your pH level is down. And so by building your pH level up, you have a better fighting capability to fight off the cancer. I strongly suggest for you to go over to Dr. Circa's YouTube channel and check out his knowledge and the difference of what baking soda can do for your body and why we should store it. You know, these are, somebody might say it's a myth or not. I believe that it truly works. I pH strip myself quite often to see where my pH level's at, and I will probably end up doing a video on pH levels and strips and how sodium bicarbonate helps your pH level get kicked up. So anyways, a lot of different reasons why you would want to store baking soda. 50 cents a box. Go get you a bunch of it and put it away for your food storage and for your medical purposes. Now that we have all this, where I was going with my starches, my flours, my sugars, all of this is because of breakfasts and breads. So we've got our oatmeal, and we want to store a lot more of this. Per person, you're going to need a lot more, but we've only got $10 a week, so we have to start somewhere. And on the oatmeal, you can make your cookies, you can make oatmeal for breakfasts, you can put oatmeal into your breads, make an oatmeal bread, and by having our flour or oils, some evaporated milk, some salt, some baking soda, we can make different kind of breads. But bottom line, just your flour, some oil, and some water, you can make bread. So these are things that you have to think about in your storage. Back in the day, they didn't worry about yeast. They did sourdough starters to help rise the bread, have flavor. You can do that in a mason jar. A sourdough starter is very simple to do. So with your oatmeal, I purchased some cinnamon. This isn't in our $10 a week challenge. I just purchased this to show that you could have some cinnamon to sprinkle on your oatmeal to flavor for your kids. Maybe a little sugar. You have cinnamon, you've got your rices, you've got your evaporated milk now, and you can make a rice pudding, some kind of hot rice pudding. And so there's all these little things that you can build up on to have more meals. With our spaghetti down here, it's just one little box down here, but we're adding to our $10 a week. But by using our spaghetti now, we can use spaghetti with maybe some of our chicken or our tuna. We can use maybe a can of our mixed vegetables. Maybe we can make a chicken noodle casserole. or a tuna noodle casserole with these little, now it's not going to be what we would want with a crumb topping or all that. This is just getting us by, and this is what our food storage is about. But we have variety now, and it's not just spaghetti sauce and pasta or just beans. We're building a variety. So we're going to put our oatmeal and our flour and our pasta in mason jars, and we're going to dry can those. And we're not going to touch this. This is not something, like I said, none of this we are going to touch. This is in a place that we're building up our food storage. If you lose your job, if something happens, by all means, this is why it's here. But what we're wanting to do is keep going by week by week by week and build us the bomb food storage by doing it affordable, by doing it smart, and being able to feed our family across the board. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. And if you want to be notified for future videos, ring the bell and keep an eye out this week for the 4th week $10 challenge.